Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are joining us from, you are welcome to another episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. With me today, I have the radiant looking Anthony Eze from the United States and the joyous looking Jude Unwa Okolo from Dublin. Before we proceed, let's do our weekly checks. My friends, my family, how are you doing today? Tony.
Yes, nice having me in the program today. So excited to be together. We're here to do it again.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Jude, what has been happening to you?
Well,
You look so happy.
You call me joyous looking, but don't forget we are mourning the Queen. She's part of me and part of UK, and I'm mourning, but I have to put a smile on my face because she lived a very radiant life, and as such, But just follow me to mourn her, because she was a brilliant lady that left us.
Yes, and I think you have just ushered in the topic that we want to address at the beginning of today's show. It's about the death of the history-making Queen Elizabeth, who ruled the UK for 70 years, 7 decades on the throne. I think he first got on the throne, I think in 1952. And I think this was an history-making queen. And I must say that, Jude, I am also joining you to mourn the queen, so much love by everybody in UK and around the world, and especially the Commonwealth of Nations. So let me just leave the floor for Jude Unwa Okolo to start. The Queen Elizabeth. Can you just give us an outlook of her life, her legacy, and talk about the King Charles III, and just then take it away, Jude.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kunle. Just to let you know that our Queen, world Queen, not only for British, not only for Europeans, but she's a queen that has impacted life worldwide. She was blessed with a long life. She has imbibed her Christian character, and I think it helped her through all her life. I remember many times he was a very good friend of Billy Graham. Yeah, having met more than 21 times with Billy Graham, the great Billy Graham, worldwide preacher. And she became so close to Christ. I would say she's born again, because you can see the life she lived, holding woman culture to perfection. She tried to let the world know how a woman should live, how family culture should be, and the throne she occupied never ever moved her. She just remained simple and focused, and live life happy, knowing that life is nothing. I think she might have been taught by Billy Graham that one day we leave this world and go and part away. And that led her in her legacy. And that's why we are mourning her today. And I think we should learn a lesson from her, because sometimes we are carried away with wealth, with money, with worldly things. But we have seen, for me personally, I've seen through her life that she never she never actually showed that money is everything. She never put wealth as part of human culture. She always want to be human, living in her own self environment, trying to make herself happy and people around her happy. And as such, I just like that character she has brought into the world. When she left, I started feeling like she was personal to me, even though I not met her one day. But she has actually touched my part of my life, which made me to sometimes feel that I've lost someone. And that's why we in the UK are in deep mourning, because she has penetrated our irrespective of culture, religion, whatever you call it, color. She touched every one of us. And
Thanks a lot.
I think we should actually emulate her forward.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jude. I think you encapsulated everything about the Queen. What people said about her in the news when she passed. You kind of summarized it. You surmised it, in one I think one sentence, that this woman lived. She lived like a one of us, and she didn't allow the wealth at her disposal, because I read that the worth of the Queen when she died was, I didn't confirm this, but close to 28 billion pounds. Close to 28 billion pounds. But the way she lived an ordinary life. Okay, even though some might say, oh, she was privileged or whatever. But the fact is this woman could have lived an ostentatious life, but she never did. And she died in a peaceful castle that she owned with her husband. And I must say that I agree with you. Tony, over to you. I know that you are in the state, and I want to say a big thank you to you for actually finding time to do this, because I know that it is extremely inconvenient for you to do today, because you are not in the comfort of your home. You are not in your studio, but you just created a space for us where you are, to ensure that you join us on this program today. We really appreciate you. So, going to the Queen, Tony, what is your first impression about the Queen, the death of the Queen?
Really, to me, I look at her as a life well lived, life of humility, life of caring, a bridge maker, a peacemaker. Because we know throughout the 70-year reign, there were so many ups and downs, which she weathered through, both in her personal life, in the life of her children. He was able to. It's really a good, before we talk about her international image, she's a mother, she's a homemaker, and every woman should emulate, including men, should emulate the kind of things she did throughout her lifetime. We know that as human, you cannot expect perfection, because after the announcement, there were so many unfavorable comments. But at the same time, if you want to see an angel, you're going to die first and go to heaven and see one. There's no angel around us. We commiserate with the British people and the Commonwealth of Nation. Over here in the US, the demise of the Queen occupied most of the news media because of the respect Americans have for her, the respect everyone have for the Queen. We know he's not a military leader whom every expectation worldwide must have been met. We ask that her soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen, amen. And you touched on a sensitive thing, and our viewers can see the text rolling at the bottom of our screen. A Nigerian-born professor, because you said something about, that, no, she wasn't an angel. and then it will be difficult for us to see someone in this life, okay, that does not have any stain or any blemish. And many people, especially, people from countries colonized by the United Kingdom, they have been condemning the Queen. And I must say, the amount of good wishes, the amount of people genuinely mourning the Queen trumps the few people that are saying the negative things. But notable of those people, or should I say notable among the people saying negative things, is a Nigerian-born US professor, Uju Anya, who tweeted what I would say a nasty tweet about the Queen. And she actually tweeted when the Queen was still alive, but they said that we should be praying, blah, blah, blah. And she tweeted that she was wishing the Queen Elizabeth II an excruciating death. And she mentioned a lot of things about slavery, about this, about that. And she received a lot of backlash and outrage, and notably from Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, who tongue-lashed her. And this woman, answered Jeff Bezos back, and said a couple of things. But notably, she said, if anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch who supervised a government that sponsored the genocide and massacre and displaced half of my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can keep wishing upon a star. You know what, Tony? Because you mentioned, you slightly touched the negativity people are like saying about the Queen. I wanted to go first. What is your take on this nasty tweet by Professor Uju Anya?
Yes, as somebody who is in the healthcare and on Christian background, I don't wish any dying person excruciating experience, because it's going beyond the other way. Whatever sin person must have committed is on the other side. There's nothing you can do about it. But you see, we have to be careful about our behaviors. Behavior is just like shooting a gun. You shoot a bullet, it lands on a surface or somewhere on somebody's body. You may have forgotten the impact of the gun you shot when you pull the trigger. So if you know where this lady is coming, though the choice of words are not comfortable. But if you come from the southeast Nigeria, and you ever had the history of the Biafran War, or you were grown up enough to experience it, what Prophet Uju Anya was mentioning may make some meaning to you. Because though Queen being in a government that is a cabinet government, whereby she may not have all the presidential powers to execute some palliative. What happened during the Biafra Nigerian War? Without Christianity, most people from the southeastern Nigeria will not like to pay all the 100% homage to the monarch, because, as expected, as a former colonial masters, if there is a war in one of your former colonies, you should go and seek for peace, not supporting each party, because when two elephants fight, the grasses suffer. Now, during the Biafran War, I wasn't grown up enough to know what was going on, But
Are you sure about that?
history had it that rather than going to make peace to reconcile the two warring parties, that the British government rather supplied arms, just like what NATO countries are doing now by supplying arms to Ukraine, that they supplied war. And every person, even when you are not grown up, knows that Biafran war was a genocide. It's a war that raged for 3 years, and you lost about almost 1 million plus civilians. What do you call genocide if it's not this? Therefore, if you have a government, a British government, who colonized Nigeria and nothing was done, I mean, you don't blame people for having negative comments. But my idea is that before you blame the Queen 100%, you need to know how a cabinet system of government runs. In a cabinet system of government, you have a ceremonial president, and then you have the prime minister who undertake with the parliament the day-to-day running of the British government. Therefore, if there are lapses, why this gentle lady was mad at the Queen, we might not really apportion everything to the Queen, because Queen happened to be a ceremonial president. So my take on this is that we wish the Queen well, but I think the most important question Commonwealth nations should be asking, with the demise of the Queen, what next? Are we going to continue with non-challenge attitude when the former colonial countries are suffering and the British government keeps quiet, just like what is happening now? The Queen was around up to the point where she died. Buhari government, it's not strange to the Queen when it was alive that Nigerians are in deep problem. As a former colonial masters, as a former colonial master, Britain is in a better position to solve Nigerian problem. But rather than solving our problem, we have not seen an impact. Now that we are going to have a king, the status quo remain the same. Are we going to see a new kind of getting involved? Because part of what we have in some of these colonies we are created by the British government. Take, for example, Nigeria. Through the indirect rule in the north, they empower the north. And
divide and rule system.
Divide and rule system. That's why up to the moment in question, we are still within the problem that was made possible by the Queen's government. Because the Queens, who had the capability to solve other problems, would have been so much involved in solving the Commonwealth of Nations problems. We wish her well. We wish that her soul rests in peace. But we are saying that King Charles III should not toe the line of the mother. Because if that continues, my personal opinion is that there's no need for any colonized nation to remain in Commonwealth, because we are not getting better by remaining in the Commonwealth. We need a new lease of life. If you cannot help us, leave us alone.
That's a big deal, what you said. Tony, I want to quickly add that, because I noticed that people are just talking about the Queen. You see, the document that established Nigeria, you see, came into being 1914 to 1917. So the Queen was not around then. Okay? But what people are emphasizing, okay, is the lack of apology and repatriation for the actions, okay, of our colonial masters. And you see, I delved into this and I read that historically, the monarchy, the English monarchy, okay, had links to slavery. That in fact, one of the princes or the king was a slave owner. So, and I think some of these things are why people are kind of angry. However, this has very little to do with the queen. Okay, it has very little to do with the queen that just died. And I must say that if people want to, blame anybody, okay, it shouldn't be right when the queen just died. It's a period of mourning, and I think the professor should have saved her comment, her tweet, for later days. Maybe after King Charles, has already assumed office, and so that can start. Jude, what do you think about this? Because Tony laid out a lot of details there. And it is true. If you cannot help us, leave us alone. If you cannot help us, leave us alone. Stop empowering a tribe over another. Okay, stop. I'm not saying the queen, okay, but there is no way we will talk about the queen that we won't talk about the actions of the British government. Because at the end of the day, the queen is the head of government. Jude, if you want to take it on.
Right. Tony, thank you so much, because you laid emphasis on some of the things that bother people from this southeast of Nigeria. But let me just tell you one thing. Let me just say, not to you, to them, the British monarchy stopped ruling in the year 1642.
Stop controlling the government.
Yeah. It's in the year 1642. That was when they stopped at being in charge of British
governance.
So everything that is done in Britain at the moment, since that time, wasn't actually from the monarchy.
It's the politicians.
It's the politicians that do it. It's the constitution, according to them. But people don't look at it that way. They lost everything. They bounced on the monarchy. They are just there as a figurehead, because it's what it is a life. That's what it's not like we having chiefs and king in our village, like Olu of Owori, Oba of Lagos. It will never stop. It's going to be there forever. But they don't rule. They are just there as ceremonial heads. So people blame the monarchy for nothing. The British love their monarchy and they want to keep that monarchy. But when things go wrong, they should blame the government. Nothing we can do about it. All we can say is what we've seen the Queen did and what the monarchy has done. We have seen their life, how they portray people, how their life was portrayed, and let us judge them according to how they live their life, because they are just ceremonial heads. Let's judge them in how the family are being organized, how they take care of the culture, not about ruling. Everything we have just taken here, like the professor just quoted, Professor Anya, did not go back, did not look at issue the other way. The British colonized not only Nigeria, or nearly 60% of the world. British were everywhere. And there's no country that will come out and say,
including the states.
Yeah, there's no country that will say they are free from British this, because during their time of colonization, it was like living in a jungle. A lion and the other animals, they have to live, they have to survive, they have to impress to live, and that was how they live their life. But when they become mature, when civilization came up, they found out that what we have done is not good, and they changed their method of living.
Okay, but let me just
I will quickly.
Okay, I wanted to play a devil's advocate here.
Okay.
It talked about their way of lives, their way of living as a family, and I'm now saying, even if you talk about that, okay, people are not necessarily happy with the royal family because they believe that they live a privileged life. And as you can see, talk about Prince Charles and Diana. That man, the current king, to me, actually hurt and did some terrible things to that innocent woman. You know that while he was married to Prince Diana, it's in the news. This is not me saying. He was dating Camilla. And that is adultery. Okay? And we know that even the other son, Andrew, the case of Jeffrey Epstein in America, that man is linked to it and is still under scrutiny. And people have alleged that the royal family has been protecting the man. So for me, wherever you look at this thing or whichever form you examine the issue of the monarchy, I must say to you, there will be a lot of criticism. However, my personal position is that this woman tried her best, and I must say that she lived a decent life. And should I trade this queen for anyone else? I would say no. I love Queen Elizabeth. And I must say, because of her, I named my daughter Elizabeth. And it was basically because of the history of that name in the Bible and that woman. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that woman as a person, with the queen. Yeah. And I must say that I love her, and her death actually hit me like a rod. So Tony, please.
Yeah, I'm just trying to quickly correct. If you know very well that when I started, I said Queen is a ceremonial head of state.
Yes.
He doesn't take responsibility for the day-to-day running of the activities of any government, because they run a system called cabinet system.
Yeah.
Okay, and to be fair to the British people, I don't think some people from African countries can blame what they are doing, because when you compare what is happening in Britain to what is happening in Nigeria, I think people are going to be asking us, are you okay? You understand? So, but the thing is this, we just decide at this moment to make our own contribution in mourning the death of the Queen. It's likable all over the world. She has achieved tremendous feat. All we are saying is that whoever, since King Charles is now on the throne, we want a better dispute settlement. We want a better interaction with the former colonies. We need the king to influence the parliament and the prime minister so that the decision they take about African countries especially, they should realize that a lot of what is going on in most of these African nations were what they taught them, and it appears is not working, and that most of the people who learn from their own tricks are ruining our country and coming to Britain and other places to save looted money that are supposed to be used for the common man.
Thank you.
We want the king to encourage the people in power, the politicians, to turn a new leaf, to punish people who steal and run to Britain. They need to help us to stop corruption. We know they can do it, and we expect more from the British government.
Thank you so much. In fact, exactly what I wanted to say, honestly, that the king should do more, should encourage the British Parliament, okay, to do more to help innocent people in this third world, the people that are being cheated, looted, and to ensure that our leaders, the bad ones, okay, pay for what they have done in terms of weaponizing poverty. So let me just rest at that, because Tony, Jude, you have done fantastically well. Thank you for this. We said we wanted to spend 30 minutes on today's program, but I think, the Queen's issue has actually taken the first 30 minutes of our time. Let's just fly. Let's just touch on the next topic. And it is still about our man. Who is that man? Jude. Who is that man?
Wike. Wike is my man.
Wike is still the man. So let's just quickly, delve into this one. I was surprised when I read it that Sultan of Sokoto visited Wike and they had closed door meeting. The details are still sketchy. We don't know what they discussed, but I think it will not be unconnected with the 2023 presidential election. And this started bringing a couple of thoughts in me. And I said, wow, this thing is hotting up. Wow, could it be that Atiku has actually invoked, the powerful people in the north, to bring Wike to his senses, to bring Wike back into the PDP family? While the South, we are busy tearing each other down, but the North are busy strategizing. Let me just stop here. Okay, let's give Jude the opportunity to strike on this topic, because I know that Wike is Jude's man.
Wike is my man every day, every time, because it makes me love watching the TV. Why I said that is this. Wike, the PDP has found out that if Wike managed to leave PDP, go out from PDP, they've lost. They are that's what they discovered. And the only way they can keep Wike is to start begging him, just any way, any tools in their hand, to any way they can go to bring Wike to order, they want to do that. And remember, last 2 weeks, Wike supporters were afraid that they might kill Wike. But Wike has made it so open that they can't even touch him, because if anything happened to Wike, and they will say they kill him. He's from Atiku. He's from people. So they are scared of him. He's just like, this guy, he cannot touch him. Oh, be careful with this guy. So the only way they can do is find a way to bring him into order. But Wike is so smart that before they bring him into order, whatever he says must be done. And he's still insisting that Ayu must go.
Yeah. However, Ayu received a vote of confidence from the PDP.
Yeah, but he said Wike said that is useless. That will not help him. You didn't hear that? He said that will not help him. So Wike is the main man there. But the thing that worries me a lot is we are talking about the Queen, about the British, about the monarchy, how they came to Nigeria and stuff like that. Now, we talk about how sorry to say this, my good friend Tony said about how genocide was done. Wike supposed to be from the southeast. He said where they don't call themselves Igbo anymore. They say they are not Igbo because Jonathan said he's not an Igbo man. So Wike is not an Igbo man. Now, Wike knew that during the Civil War, there was a lot of genocide in the southeast. In Asaba, for instance, there was a bomb thrown in Asaba. People died. And Wike as well is still linking up, attaching himself to the Northerners. So, and we are blaming the British for genocide. So I don't understand where we are going to. We have to blame ourselves. Because we are forgetting our own sorrow, our own problem, and start blaming people who have done nothing wrong. We are the problem of ourselves. We Nigerians.
Don't let us say who did nothing wrong. I think the British did a lot wrong, especially in this first union that we have. And I think that although we have a first union, but we can make it work. Okay, we can make it work. You say, I do not agree with anyone that says that, it's not a first union, it's not this, it's not that. I must say that if you ask a typical Yoruba person, do you want to live in Nigeria? They will say yes. Ask an Igbo man, yes. Maybe the Northerners will kind of say maybe no or whatever. So for me,
my point is this. This does not originate from the British. It's because of the way we handle ourselves in Nigeria.
Yes, presently.
Yes, I'm just giving you an example of Wike. Because we don't love ourselves, we don't hold ourselves to the high esteem, and when an outsider comes in, he plays on the part of where that favors him. The British came in and they found where favor them, and they stick to that.
And they play the divide and rule.
Yeah, because that's what favors them.
Let's give Tony the opportunity to wrap up for us.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, yeah.
I think we'll be careful if we are mixing different eras.
Thank
When
you.
we are
That
talking
was what
about
I
it,
wanted.
yes, we are talking on different eras
Yeah.
and times in history.
Yes, yes, yes.
Before the British came,
Thank you.
we had no country, we had empires.
Mm.
They gathered us together. Nobody is blaming the British again about this. We left that era when they gathered us and moved to an era when we became a country.
Yeah,
Something happened. At that time, we blamed the British for the role they played.
yeah.
We are not blaming the British for what is happening now.
Now we blame ourselves.
After all, Britain colonized America. America is almost more than Britain now. Are they blaming Britain again? Rather, Britain is almost as if they are lower in
No,
certain
they are
structure.
second fiddle. America is way, way, way more than
Yes, and the same British that colonized Nigeria, that
yes.
colonized US. So we are talking of different stages in life. Now,
I like that.
back to Wike, Atiku, and all these people, to me, I don't look at them as if they're creating anything new. 2014, that's the scenario. After nomination, there is underground work. So whoever comes from the north to do anything is welcome. That's the political system of doing things. They are not in the military regime. Therefore, what they are doing now is very much expected.
Mm.
To me, as a representative of the masses of Nigeria, my concern is how the masses will play their role. I kept on saying, forget about what they're saying. Marshal yourself out. How you going to vote and defend your vote?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it
Mm-hmm.
brings us to another level. If we're encouraging Nigerians to vote, we know the thing that always destroyed the election in Nigeria is rigging. What are the different riggings that are in place? And how can we advise our people to use in defending their votes? We know most elections are rigged in Nigeria, and that's why the politicians they do whatever they want, hoping that on the D-Day they already know who's going to take the various posts. Therefore, what are the ways they rig in Nigeria? Information available is that sometimes, even from the beginning of the election, even before the election, through the PVC card, rigging has started because not every person has access to rigging. During the election, they rig whereby in some stations the material don't even arrive. In some location, the talks are already are available to run with the ballot boxes. So our priority, rather than listening to Wike and the rest, we should focus on how we tell Nigerians to defend this election so that rigging could be minimized. Nigeria and in most African countries, you cannot avoid rigging. But how do we minimize it to a very minimal standard whereby we can achieve a good and safe result?
Unmute yourself, please.
Yes, that is awesome. Especially when you said that we should not mix up eras. And that was spot on. And I kind of like the way Jude just said it's true, it's true, it's true. that was awesome. It's an eye-opener. Okay. Yes, the British did what they did, but for what is happening now in Nigeria, we can't blame ourselves. But we are just saying that let us beware. Okay. I do not see any justice in the fact that a northerner has ruled us for 8 years, another northerner wants to rule us again for another whatever. That is my problem. And I must say, I know that we have many things to say today, and we have not actually hit the nail on the head. But then I am cognizant, or we are cognizant of the fact that, you see, Tony is actually, helping us to have today's show by inconveniencing himself, okay, and then he's away from his house. So because of that, we want to end today's show. I would say that thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate you joining us today. Please subscribe to our channel and kindly give our video a like. From Jude Nwaokolo and Anthony Eze, we would like to say, please join us again next week.